Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel for everything Arsenal and everything football. Thanks for being here. I hope you're all doing well. And welcome to the player ratings for Arsenal's 1-0 victory over Manchester United. We finally did it after 14 years. Zuhum, here with me to celebrate the win. How are you?
Come on, you Gunners, let's go, mate.
I'm so happy after this today. What did you make of the
Yeah,
game before
man.
we get into the player
You
ratings?
asked me. You asked me how I am, and I'm great. I'm fantastic. Thank you very much for asking. You can tell a
Yeah,
lot of it had to do with the victory last night.
yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm very very happy.
Yeah, and so let's just get straight into it. Let me know what you thought of the
Uh,
lineup. I'll put it on screen right now. Were you happy with the lineup? Did you want it any different?
mm. I remember speaking to my brother about this, and he's the one who actually said, you know what, I think Arteta should go back to the 3-4-3 because
Yeah,
that's what's worked so well against some of the top teams. I was a
yeah,
bit more ambitious because I wanted us to go with a 4-3-3 and try and win the game more convincingly with that 4-3-3. I figured at that time, I was thinking to myself, maybe we need to learn by making mistakes. Maybe it's the experience that will really count at the end of the season. So even if we go and lose at Old Trafford, it's still going to, like a lot of these players are going to learn a lot about themselves and about the formation, what Arteta wants. But when I saw the formation, I knew there was no way we were actually playing a 4-3-3 outright 4-3-3. You know more than anyone else. You know all the rest of our Arsenal fans. They know Arteta likes to transform the formation. It changes once we're on the ball. It changes in different moments in the game. So even though he went with the 3-4-3 and I wanted the 4-3-3, I was still
yeah,
content because I knew Saka was gonna tuck inside. I
yeah,
knew Kieran Tierney was gonna bomb forward in the way that he did. But
yeah,
honestly, I don't think many people foresaw this. I didn't think the partnership between Partey and El Neni would be so spot on the first day.
mm-hmm,
Against such a big team as well. So I
mm-hmm.
was I was really happy. I was really happy with the formation, and I thought to myself, yeah, this is a team more than capable of winning the game very convincingly as well. So yeah, what did you make of it?
I was happy. I wanted a back five. I'm guessing we kind of played like a back five when we don't have the
Yeah.
ball, and a back four when we have the ball.
Mm,
I wasn't sure about Lacazette. I was actually going with the fans who wanted Aubameyang up front and Saka on the left,
mm,
Willian on the right, or Pepe on the right. Midfield, of course, I wanted Shaka because he always like covers for the left back and our centre backs. The last two games we've seen him even covering at centre back.
yeah.
The rest of the squad was okay with it. I still prefer Bellerin on the right, even though he's had a couple of poor performances. I actually wanted Willian ahead of Pepe anyway, so I was
Mm,
okay with the lineup. On the bench, though, I'd say their bench was more stronger than ours. I'd say just like West Ham, just like Leicester, the benches are always stronger than us. But I was okay with the lineup, no complaints about it. But we'll come to the subs. I was not that happy with the substitutions. I'll tell you which one.
okay.
So
Okay.
let's get into the player ratings. The first one we're going to talk about is Leno. What would you give
Mm.
Leno out of 10?
I think I'd give. Let me set the standard. If I give someone a 7, that means that's a solid performance with no real costly mistakes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give Leno a 7 because they only troubled us twice, I think,
Yeah,
and he got a bit lucky in terms of the save, but a lot of the stuff he necessarily couldn't do much about. The deflection
yeah.
of Mohamed El Neni's leg onto his face, and then
That was part of the
but
plan. That was
then
part of the plan.
yeah, part of the plan. Okay,
Yeah,
and then there was obviously the reaction save against who was it? Was it Mason Greenwood? I believe, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken, that was pretty much it. So what I like about him and why I'm giving the 7 isn't necessarily because he had to make any strong saves or necessary saves. It's because Leno, what gets him or what lets him down is his lack of concentration sometimes. But
yeah,
against United, there was no mispass whatsoever. He made all the right decisions in how we played out from the back. It was very easy to get out of their press, but only because he helped it make it easy. So I'm giving him a 7, and he kept a clean sheet. So yeah, 7 is, I think, a very fair rating. What would you give?
I'll tell you what I loved about him yesterday. The final 10
Hmm.
minutes, the way he just like handled the ball and then after 5 seconds it
Yeah,
drops down. I
yeah,
like that. Frustrate the
yeah.
fans, frustrate the players. I love that. He made a couple of saves. He was actually good in the air. The passes he was making yesterday, there was a time Rashford was covering. He did not mess around with it. He just cleared the ball. I like
Mm.
that. So I'm going to give him I'm going to give him an eight. I'm going to give him an eight. Clean sheet at
Ah, look
Old
at you,
Trafford.
man.
First clean
You're
sheet
very,
since like
you're,
2009.
yeah. It's
No,
true.
I have
It's
to give
true. It's
I
true.
have to give him that. So Leno
Yeah.
gets eight.
All
Evans
right.
Hyman says party is still going on. I guess it is. Okay, sweetie, how are you all doing? You're good. I am still partying. I'm buzzing. Yes, we all are. So let's go to the right back. What did you give Bellerin?
Oh man, I thought Bellerin was immense on so many different levels.
Mm-hmm.
Defensively, I think he did really well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and going forward, yeah, okay, he didn't necessarily give an assist. Technically, he did. Fantasy Premier League managers will know that because he
Yeah,
won the penalty, he gave Aubameyang an assist.
yeah,
But he was dangerous. You get in terms
yeah.
of the build up, he was secure. He kept the ball well. He made the right decisions. And honestly, Bellerin can be a bit of a culprit when it comes to a lack of concentration in terms of his passing. He can give
Mm-hmm.
a suspect pass once in a while in a very similar way to how Xhaka can be.
Mm-hmm.
But Bellerin, I'm giving him a 7 because he was solid. He put no foot wrong. And he gave us quite a bit going forward. He gave us a lot of technical security and possession. So I thought he was fantastic.
Eight. I am not hearing the seven. Eight. I saw someone giving him 6.5 yesterday. Saka's
Why
chance at
why
the end.
6.5?
Saka's chance at the end of the first half. Bellerin's cross
Mm,
from his left foot.
yeah, yeah, it's true. It's true.
Aubameyang's the one that he was so close in the first half.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
Bellerin's play with Willian on the right cross. Won us the penalty, basically won us the game. Defended well on that side. So the best probably I've seen him. No foul throws this time round. You have to give him an eight for today. Um,
No foul throws, 8, huh?
no foul.
Okay.
Okay, City says 7.5 for Leno. Evan says Bellerin 9. A bit too high that, but I guess it's
Did he score a
RK
hat trick or
City.
something?
Hat trick. Yeah, I was on there. RK City Bellerin 7. Let's go to Tierney. Tierney is the next one. Left back, however you want to see it.
Tierney, man. Tierney was immense as well. I'd give him a 7. But it's a lesser 7 than Bellerin's because you already mentioned Bellerin gets an 8, and it's true. I can see why you'd give him an 8. Uh,
Yeah,
but I'm gonna stick with a solid 7 for Tierney. He did exactly what you expected him, right? Tackles,
yeah.
interceptions, going forward, connecting play. He gave some good passes down the line, and mate, him alongside Gabriel, bro. What it's looking like Maldini and Nesta. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? So
And then also
I'm
going
gonna I'm
forward,
gonna go with a 7. Mm, mm,
also
mm.
going forward with Saka and Aubameyang on that wing, I'll even go an
Yeah.
inch higher. It reminded me of Ashley Cole, Perez, and Henry on that left wing every time.
Ooh.
Very, very
Big
good.
man
Every time
statements.
Tierney has the ball, you feel like something is going to happen with Saka on the left. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to give him a 7. This time round, we actually use the right more than the left, surprisingly.
Mm.
So Evan says Tierney 8. Now, Gabriel, just tell me about Gabriel. Tell me about Gabriel.
Oh my days. I was watching the game with a friend of mine, and I think you know of him, Naeem. He's
Yeah,
a massive United fan. I do a podcast with him called in the Nearly
yeah.
Footballers podcast, and in one of the first few moments in the game, one of the first few notable moments in the game, he takes out Rashford very, very cleanly. Those
Mm-hmm,
big man statements, those big tackle statements that
mm-hmm,
the coaches always encourage you to do is to let
mm-hmm,
the player know you're there. Let him feel you. Let him feel you down his back. You get what I mean? And
mm-hmm.
and and he carried that forward throughout the game. He was immense in terms of interceptions. He was immense in terms of our passing. He was immense in
Yeah.
terms of our tackling. And the thing is, he didn't shy away from any challenges for the rest of the game. And I think he got a yellow
Mm-hmm.
card maybe in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
thereabouts. So the fact that he had that kind of performance whilst being on a yellow was fantastic. And obviously, I mean, he won everything: aerial duels, tackles, interceptions, physical duels, everything. He was just completely dominant. Anybody that came into that Arsenal box, he had them in his pocket, no matter what. And anybody who was outside Arsenal's box and he needed to step up, he had them in their pocket, in his pocket as well. And that tackle on Matic, my heart was in my throat, in my mouth. I was so scared. But the fact that he even turned around and told Matic to shut up and get up and play, because Matic was asking for a penalty, and he was trying to make a case out of it. But what a challenge and what a performance! I'm telling you guys, and I know you guys agree. I kept telling people, other people that I talk football with, Gabriel, in the first three performances again in the Premier League, he was man of the match for every single game, and there's a reason for it. It wasn't just hype. Yeah, he's 22. He's gonna have a dip in form at some point. Of course, he's human, right? But there is something extremely special in this kid. Extremely special.
Out of 10?
9.
9. Should he
I'm
have
giving
been
him a
sent off?
9. No, no, no. Can I state why he wasn't sent off, in my opinion? I'm just trying to think in terms of Mike Dean, who loves sending off Arsenal players, as you know. Um,
Yeah.
so after that challenge where he got booked, he didn't commit any other foul that was dangerous or that was cynical in terms of being a tactical foul. That was the first one, and even then, he got turned by Mason Greenwood with a great piece of skill. So I thought Mike Dean did really, really well to not give him a second yellow, and he gave him a warning, and he didn't cause any other fouls after that. So I'm giving him a 9.
10. 10, 10, 10, 10. Like,
Ooh,
no
10,
mistake at all. First
10.
first trip to Old Trafford. We've had Koscielny going there. We've had Monreal going there. We've had Matasaka. We've had Toure. We've had William Gallas. They've all failed. And Gabriel, in his first journey to Old Trafford, he dominates the whole place. A team that has just come from scoring 5 goals against Leipzig. It looks very
Fair enough.
convincing of all aerial ability, as you've said. Tackling, those tackles bullied my new strikers, bullied
Oh,
Matic when
yeah,
he came on. I agree with Evans. Gabriel is a beast. I agree that
man.
Sweetie. Gabriel gets a 10 for me. 10, 10, 10 for Gabriel. The next one is
Wait, wait,
Holding.
wait, wait. Does that mean he's automatically your man of the match?
No, because a couple
Okay,
of
okay.
people got a 10 in this match.
All
Uh,
right,
Tell
Sawa.
me how relieved you are to see Holding in that lineup and not Mustafi, because I was
Oh
scared.
my God. Oh my God. Before the game, I was telling my friends, Mustafi is going to play because he was subbed off in the Europa League at around the
Yeah,
60th minute. And
yeah,
then Mike Dean is ref at Old Trafford. I mean, it's written in the stars that we're just gonna struggle because of
trouble.
either a defensive issue or the
Yeah,
refereeing mistake. So the fact that I
yeah,
saw Rob Holding, I didn't care. I didn't care what levels he was in terms of his physical fitness. If
yeah.
I just thought to myself, and I consoled myself, I told myself, if Arteta has put him in the starting lineup, then the medical team have made a sound decision in including him. So just believe that he's going to do well. And oh my God,
Mhm,
what a performance! What a
mhm.
performance! That guy for me gets a 9. He was only slightly less less dominating than Gabriel. Slightly, because he was good on the ball in terms of our passing. He was immense in our aerial duels. He was great in the physical battle. Ah, I love Rob Holding. I love him. Let me tell you, I love him. I'm glad we didn't send him out on loan because I genuinely believe there's something there. In the same way that people talk about Partey and Mohamed El Neni in terms of a potential partnership for the future, I think the same can be said of Rob Holding and Gabriel, and I think we're onto something there, man.
I'm going to give him an 8. For him to recover, 2 years ago at Old Trafford, he picked up an injury that kept him away for 1 year. And coming
Yeah.
in first game after a while and dominating Rashford, no chances. He also picked up a yellow card very early on and managed to keep his head for the rest of the game. he gets an
Yeah.
8. Keeping a clean sheet at Old Trafford, I don't know. So that is the
Well,
defense. Let's go into the midfield now. I don't know.
all right,
You
cool.
can take 5 minutes to talk about this guy. I hope you've already gotten his dance because by soon we're going to start dancing that Thomas Partey song. Now, Thomas Partey for you.
Bro,
Dominated their midfield. McTominay,
you know what?
Pogba.
Glenn, you go. You
Mhm.
start. You start. You start.
I had someone calling McTominay Mac chicken and cheese or something. He actually made them
Jeez.
look that. He made them look
Ay,
like
ay,
that.
ay.
The way he dominated. You know, we thought he was coming to take the ball from like tackle and just physical and everything. But the way he like timed that pass from Fred to Pogba, picked up the ball, ran with it,
I,
nutmeg
I,
Fred,
yeah.
had the composure to actually look where he's going to pass, not just shoot the ball or pass anywhere. Pass the ball, clinical passing. He also had a shot in the second half, could have easily went in.
Mm.
I don't know. We can have a different show for Thomas Partey.
Bro, yeah. Let me just reiterate what these pundits have been saying. You know, the I think you guys, anybody who loves Arsenal deserves to follow Gunner Blog and Ars Blog. Those guys chuck amazing content that you can access yourself, and you'd get an amazing perspective into Partey, because this is exactly what the stats were suggesting that he would do. What the our former head of scouting, Francis Kagigao, said he would be able to do. That, you know, Gunner Blog and Ars Blog said he would be able to do. Progression into the box, into the not into the box, into the United half. Not just in terms
Mm-hmm.
of his passing, but also in terms of his dribbling. Like you said, he I think he won more physical battles with Pogba than Pogba expected. So the fact that
Yeah.
he could even do that against Pogba, and he doesn't even look anywhere near as strong as Pogba, but he just has that raw strength, you know, that tight core that just doesn't
Mm-hmm.
allow you to push him off, you know? And the thing
Yeah.
is, what impressed me the most, right, is in moments in the midfield when it looked like all passing lanes were stopped or blocked, right? He'd find a little cute pass around the player in front of him to another
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal player, and we can get out. Now, just imagine this, bro. And I know we still don't have this player. Imagine he links up like that with someone like Hussein Awar. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I mean? You can
Yeah.
get all these creative moments, and it was just brilliant because he was all over the place. You know what I loved about him the most? He
Mm-hmm.
loses the ball. I don't like the fact that he loses the ball, but he lost the ball, and any player
Went
does. Any
straight
player
away for
does.
it.
But he wins it straight back. Exactly. He
Mm-hmm.
wins it straight back, and he wins it convincingly. He's like, "Oh, sorry guys.
Mm-hmm.
Here, let me get it back for you. All right, there you
Yeah.
go. This is much better now." And he was immense, bro. He really was, because United players, we know this. We spoke about this. United have some of the best forward players in the world, especially when
Mm-hmm.
you look at how they link up and how they attack the box, how they attack defenders and win penalties. There was none of that. Bruno Fernandes was playing, Rashford was playing, Greenwood was playing, Pogba was playing, Fred was playing. These guys are all players that link up very well in and around the box. But Bruno Fernandes had to be subbed off, my guy. He had to be subbed off. They had to change things up because we shut them out. We shut them out.
Mm-hmm.
Him and El Neni. But let's talk about Partey. Him and El Neni, fantastic. But Partey, you know what? I didn't see this myself. I didn't see this reaction from Roy Keane myself. But apparently, Roy Keane said he reminds me of Patrick Vieira. Now, if there's anyone to make that similarity, it's the guy who
Mm-hmm.
hated Patrick Vieira the most, who knew his enemy inside out, and that's Roy Keane. So if Roy
Yeah.
Keane says that, I'm like, you know what? Fair play. I'll take it. It's party time.
Out of 10.
9. Fantastic, man. I'm giving him. So you know what? Nah, I
10.
have to. I have to go with a 10, bro. I have to go with a 10 because I keep saying solid 9, but if it's solid 9, just give it a 10.
Yeah, it's a 10. We've
Mm-hmm.
again the last 15 years going to Old Trafford. I've seen Anderson dominating Wilshire in the middle. I've seen us having Frimpong and Denilson in the midfield at Old Trafford against Scholes and Fletcher and this kind of players that would totally dominate us and it looks like a joke going
Yeah,
against them. So
yeah,
having
yeah.
Partey dominating Mane for the whole 90 minutes in his first game at
In his
Old
first big
Trafford,
game, bro. Mm,
10, 10. El
10.
Neni, let's go to its partner in the middle, the best Egyptian in the league.
Bro, the best Egyptian in the league. Let me tell you, bro. I remember talking to my brothers. Community Shield, we beat Liverpool, right? This, I mean, we heard the stories. Liverpool have been training for 2 weeks. You guys haven't even come back to training. What are you guys gonna do? You're gonna be banged. And then El
Yeah,
Neni put in that performance that he did against Liverpool, and it was fantastic. He was beating their press. He had no fear. He played with no fear against the champions of England and
yeah,
former European champions. And then he replicated that performance against Fulham as well. And yeah, he didn't start in some of the other games after that, but I didn't expect him to play that well. You see, El Neni, like there's so many dimensions that I'm seeing of his. First of all, I always knew he was an amazing passer of the ball, but I didn't know
yeah,
he could put through, for example, Bellerin the way he did in the Europa League 2 weeks ago. Not on Thursday last week, the one before when we played Rapid Vienna. He put
mhm,
Bellerin through on goal with a very cute pass, who then
yeah,
squared it to Aubameyang, which just shows you we have players who, when the movement is being made, when people are making moves or making runs, we actually have players that can unlock defenses. And
mhm,
then he's showing that more and more. But then he showed another side of his game, and that's the
mhm,
the willingness to run with the ball and run with it well. You can run, you can try and run,
yeah,
but then you don't go anywhere and you just waste time. But El Neni
yeah,
was purposeful and intentional with the way he ran. So I'm giving El Neni if I could give him 11, man, I'd give him 11 because that guy bossed that game. He won physical battles, by the way. He was tenacious in the tackle. Honestly, and I'm not, this isn't to knock Xhaka or anything, but El Neni, he reminds me of Coquelin. Remember how Coquelin was shunned out and then he came back
yeah.
and dominated with Santi Cazorla? That's what we have with El Neni, except El Neni probably has more to offer.
You're giving him a 10?
10 for sure.
I'm going to give him a 9. There's a post Arsenal put up today where he was running after the ball in the 94th minute. That is the
Mm.
commitment I want to see. And Babu O is correct. The last 2 months, I was crying out, like, why is Mustafi still at Arsenal? Why is El Neni still at Arsenal? What is he doing at Arsenal?
Gee.
Yesterday's might have actually removed Ceballos and Shaka from the starting lineup because I'd keep the
Mm.
same midfield going forward. He played very well. Those through passes. The reason I'm giving him a 9 is because there's always 3, 4 times he always goes forward and then you don't expect anything to happen and he always shoots over the bar every time or
Can I
gives away the
can I add
ball.
to that? Can I add to that? This is a
Mm,
more tactical point. I think Arteta is allowing his players now more and more to express themselves outside of the tactical instructions that he gives. Because of course there's always that game situation that you have to adapt to and make the right decisions in. And that obviously comes with experience, that comes with game management and just overall football intelligence. So I think he tries things, but the more he gets confident, the more confident he gets, I think more and more you're going to see it benefit Arsenal. I think he's going to score goals. I think he's going to give a lot of assists. So yeah, I think give it time, but I can understand why. I can understand why.
yeah, 23 people in the chat. Make sure you drop a like on the video. Make sure you follow Zuhum on his Twitter and Instagram, Zuhum Omar, and Glenn Kitely in the 49 Invincibles on Instagram. We've just done 6 players. We're now going to the next one. Saka, what did you give Saka?
Oh, I mean, I'm giving Saka a solid 8, man, because he gave us so much defensively, so much offensively. Dude, this guy would have a 10. He would honestly have a 10 if he scored the header that he should have, in my opinion, scored. Because you know what he's doing, right? He's showing so much potential to become this n- difference maker in big games, in small games. And yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But the fact that he doesn't shy away, that he keeps coming back and he keeps trying harder and harder, he gets knocked down, he gets up, incredible. And the thing is, you know what? When I talk about our midfield three, right? Until we sign that creative midfielder that we need to sign, I'm very comfortable with the midfield being Elneny, Partey, and Saka because Saka. his talent isn't necessarily when it comes to dribbling. It's not necessarily that kind of flashy, raw talent. He shows talent and experience and football wisdom in his brain. You know what I mean? Like he
Yeah.
thinks very different compared to other players, and it shows. And the fact that he can play in the different positions, he gives Arteta that tactical, let's say, flexibility. He gives Arteta that tactical flexibility for us to play, to press, to defend, to attack. He was fantastic. I'd give him a solid 8.
I agree with that. Should have taken a couple of chances, but the fact that every time he has the ball, opponents are scared. You know how old
Mm.
he is, and opponents are actually scared
Yeah.
of him having the ball. He's one of our most creative, let's say, outlets in the team. That's why we always use the left side, even though yesterday we did use the right side more. Him and Tini, that combination, perfect. And the fact that he can cover for us in every single position on the right, left back, left winger, maybe even as a striker when you come to need him, perfect. 8 for him. Okay, I've seen him play better, but again, another solid performance. 8 for Saka. The next one is Willian. I do not know if you guys agree, but I wanted him to start. Would you have started him or Pepe?
Yeah, I remember you mentioned it just at the beginning of this particular show. You mentioned why you wanted to start Willian, and I think I know why. It's because he just doesn't lose possession easily. He's very technically
Mm-hmm.
secure, and he really
Check.
helps us build up and control.
Check your
You
mic.
understand what I
Check your
mean?
mic. It's okay.
Sorry, how is it now? I think there was a
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
yeah. So he offers technical security that many players don't. I think Pepe, for example, if he'd come on, of course he can create something amazing and score from out of nowhere or give an assist and contribute offensively. But Willian helps in the build-up. Too often, guys like Pepe lose the ball, and it affects us, and it gives the other team morale to attack us. But Willian, I think he done well. I'd give Willian a 6.5.
Too low, too low. I'd give him a 7. Okay, just 0.5 up, but I'd give him a 7 because those chances with Bellerin on the right, such good play,
Mm.
hit the bar. Those the way he's picking the ball and running with it. And another reason I wanted him to start is because we've had these players, Mondreal, Koscielny, who've consistently played these games. We've been losing away from home the last 10 years. And I wanted Gabriel, I wanted Partey, I wanted TIERNEY, I wanted Willian. Those players who've never really played for us at Old Trafford before, and
Mm.
Willian has scored at Old Trafford before. He's beaten Mane before, so different mentality. So he gets a 7, better than he's performed against Sheffield and West Ham. So 7 for me. The next one
Okay.
is, let's start with Lacazette first. Better
You
performance, or are you
know,
still frustrated with him?
I am still a bit frustrated, just a little bit though, not as much as in recent time. But like I
Yeah,
said, his performance yesterday, I thought he was immense in our defensive battles. He was very good for the press, and he essentially led the press and helped us contain them at the back,
yeah,
contain them in their defensive third, like from their side of the pitch. They couldn't get out, and he was a big part of why they couldn't find a way out of our press. So I want to give him a 6.5. There was a couple of moments I thought initially I didn't see the replays, but apparently that air shot, it looked like an air shot in the box where he
the
looked like he
block
missed
from
it.
Lindelof.
But apparently, yeah, Lindelof got a touch on it, so I feel bad for him. But the thing is with Lacazette, he needs to improve. He needs to give the fans something to believe in, because even if he had that chance, even if he was on the chance that Bukayo Saka missed with that header, are you
Yeah,
confident he would have scored? No, you're not. So
yeah.
yeah, so with Lacazette, I give him a 6.5 for he put in a shift, and that's something you'll never lack from Lacazette. But he needs to start giving us something to believe in.
I'm not going to give anyone below 7, but a 7 being one of the worst players on the pitch yesterday.
Yeah.
He needs to. His work is to score goals. I'm not seeing that from him. Every time he has the ball these days, I don't feel like something is going to happen. But there was a couple of times, yeah, he played very well. There's a time he actually intercepted the ball and ran with it and gave it to Aubameyang. That
Mm.
chance where we should have had a corner, it was blocked. So
Yeah.
that's such things. I think he was doing well. There's also a time he passed to Aubameyang and for that Willian chance. So I don't think it was very bad. But of course, he needs to start scoring. 7 for him, and then of course, Aubameyang. For the dance itself, that gets him an extra point already.
11.
Yeah. Okay. We are starting it from 5, but for that we have it at 6 already. So for the game,
Honestly.
how do you rate his performance?
I wish I feel bad for Aubameyang because I can't really rate his performance individually because of the collective. You know, we're still figuring out our attack. We still need to get him into better positions. We still need to create more for him rather. But I thought he was immense. Just like Lacazette, he was fantastic in terms of our press, in terms of leading the team. What I loved so much right after he scored the penalty,
Yeah.
he kept that huddle together and he wanted to say something to the players. And I'm sure what he was saying was, you know, come on guys, we can do this. We just have to hold out. We can create more chances. Just stay focused. And people talk about him not being a proper captain. I think he is. I think he just leads in a different way. And you know what? I was very nervous. That's a penalty. Apparently, we've never scored a penalty in the league against Manchester United. We've had two
I
other
thought,
attempts and we've missed both. So the
yeah,
fact that he scored a penalty, it's our first
yeah,
ever penalty in the league against Manchester United in the Premier League. So
at Old
uh,
Trafford.
at Old Trafford, yeah, sorry. So just for that, I mean, I'm giving him a 9 because he scored the crucial goal. The penalties still need to be scored, and he was as cool as ice. So I'm giving him a
I
9.
was,
And but I really hope, as we fix our attack, him and Lacazette will have better individual performances. That means for them to get goals, for them to make better movements, and for them to make better decisions going forward.
I was super scared. I was super scared when he
Mhm.
had that penalty. I thought he was going to
Yeah,
miss it. Like that
yeah,
is always in your head. Like everything always goes wrong against these top 6 teams, but
yeah,
having the composure to take that chance and I don't know. I don't feel like he's a captain in terms of talking to you and shouting at you, but in terms of playing, I think he leads and getting that goal. I'm so happy for him. So he is
yeah.
probably going to get an 8 for me, probably 5 better players than him yesterday. So he's going to get a 5. Let's get into the subs, and I'm sure they're not long in for that long. Niles for you, standard
He
5.
came in. Yeah, no, I think I'd give him a 6. He came in, did a job. You know, that's why I give people 6.5 is because if you do better than good, it's a 6.5. Yeah.
Nketiah. Oh no,
Nketiah came
I
in.
told you. I told you
Mm.
earlier. This is the sub I was not sure about. I did not understand why Nketiah came on for Lacazette. I'd rather kept Lacazette up front or have Aubameyang up front, Saka on the left, and bring on Pepe for Nketiah because he looked very lost, like energy wise and
Mm.
power wise. He couldn't handle like the likes of I think McTominay is still on the pitch, so I didn't understand that sub.
I think I did, to be honest. I thought I knew that. I think Arteta knew that because we scored the goal, United were going to come at us, and
Yeah.
Nketiah would offer us that counter-attacking potential. So I think that's why he came on. I still need to see more from Nketiah, but like Maitland-Niles, he came in, put in a shift. He ran the channels well, and yeah, I'll give him a 6.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's that bad, but maybe just play around with it a bit. I
Mm.
think it's okay for me. Farhan says Aubameyang 8. Thank you, Dennis, for being here. Farhan, Arki, Sweetie, Harry gives Gabriela 10. I think we agree with that. Pate 13. Very, very high, but I think it's actually very low. Ben says, hi, man. So let's get into Arteta. What did you give Arteta? Did you finish? Oh, no, we didn't finish the subs. There was Mustafi.
I just give him a 5. I don't think I expected much of him other than to defend in the way that he did. So yeah, just a 5. Can you hear me well? Is the mic well now?
Yeah, much, much better.
Okay.
I think he cleared some good balls. So before I get into Mikel Arteta, FNEP says Arsenal are okay. So unfortunately, so you go into timeout. So tell us about Mikel Arteta.
I give Arteta a proper 9. Like, you know, honestly, his tactics were spot on. If people thought that United were in a good run of form, OGS clearly thought he could come in with this diamond formation that he set up, and it worked well against PSG, RB Leipzig, and they probably think they should have won the game against Chelsea. But clearly, Arteta outsmarted him. Clearly, Arteta outsmarted him in terms of not only the tactics but also in terms of the personnel. I think OGS would have expected someone like Ceballos or Xhaka to start with Partey. Um, So the fact that he did it, and what it brought to us in terms of our midfield performance from El Neni and Partey, yeah, I think Arteta got one up over him, and I think we should have won by more than one goal. By the way, I think we should have won by at least 2 goals.
But yeah, maybe even three. In the first half, it should have been
Mhm.
2-0, 3-0 ahead. So
Yeah, yeah.
out of 10, you'd give him.
I'd give him a 9.
You know, since he came, Liverpool beaten 3 times, United beaten twice, City beaten, Wolves beaten away, Sheffield beaten away. Am I
Mm.
forgetting any other team? We need to get Tottenham very soon to make that
We
correct.
beat
So
Chelsea.
he beat Chelsea in the final. That's what the
Yeah,
game I was
yeah.
forgetting. So how about Mike Dean? Mike Dean is the final. Did you think his performance was fair? There's a time he even blocked our ball. We were trying to counter attack. He's always trying to get involved in the game.
He needs to make the game about himself. No, I thought Mike Dean had a great performance. To be honest, I don't think he put. There were no decisions that I thought to myself that I was angry about, to be honest. For example, the decision he had on Gabriel was a great decision.
Yeah.
The fact that, when he did block the ball and it looked like United would have an opportunity to counterattack, he stopped the game rightfully. It wasn't a drop ball, but he gave us the ball, so it was fair play. I think I'd give him a solid 8. He did well.
Mike Dean 8. Oh, hell no. I'd give him maybe a 4. For me, I think Gabriel was a red card. That is stopping
No,
a goal scoring chance. I know it was his second foul, but that is kind of stopping a goal scoring chance.
but it
And
wasn't.
maybe
But it wasn't a goal scoring chance, Glenn. The guy was out on the wing, and we
yeah,
still had our midfielders and players back there. I mean, it wasn't necessarily a goal scoring opportunity, but it was a threatening move.
yeah. Holding, I think Holding committed like 4 fouls before and after the yellow card. Fred should have been off too, blocking that ball, trying to get involved in the game. Very, very
Mm.
poor. So in general, what do you pick? A positive from this game and a negative from this game going forward?
I don't think there was much negative. I think, you know what? I just want to state this. I read this on Ars blog as well, right?
Yeah,
What I'm liking about us is that we're going into this big games and we're not scared of whoever we're playing. And we keep, regardless of the situation, whether we're 1-0 down or 2-1 down or 0-0, whether we're missing chances, we still play the same football. In the 65th minute, right? United lost the ball. This was before the penalty. We passed the ball 35 times. We made 35 passes before we eventually worked the ball to Willian, before he gave the ball to Bellerin, and we won the penalty. So what does that show you? That shows you these Arsenal players are fully behind what the manager is trying to build. Yeah, sometimes you feel like maybe the instructions are too much, but they understand what he wants and they believe what he wants, and we're looking better for it. Look at how brave we are. We're playing passing football, proper good football. A lot of Chelsea fans attacked Arteta. A lot of Arsenal fans attacked Arteta and said we just parked the bus and we play defensive. But Arteta showed Lampard how to play with 3 defenders in a back three and still be the more attacking team at Old Trafford. So that's what I like. That's the positive, is that the players seem to believe what they're gonna do with Arteta. They know it's a process. Yeah, we might suffer a few lows, but we're gonna get more highs, in my opinion. Leicester was a low, and it was a bit of a bump in the road, but we're gonna be all right, man.
man of the match.
Thomas Partey came in and did exactly what I expected him to do, going forward and defensively. I have to give my man of the match to Mohamed El Neni because of what kind of a surprise package he was. And I really hope he replicates this. Too often we saw performances from certain players in recent years, and you think to yourself as an Arsenal fan, finally, let's do this. But then in the next game, what happens? They get lost, or maybe they don't have the same impact. So I just want to see that consistency. But I have to this particular game, Mohamed El Nani.
The last 2 questions so that you can end it. Lewis asks, do you believe we can do this consistently?
With time, yes. With time, not now. I think guys need to be, just curb your excitement. Just Tulieni, just relax a little bit. We're still figuring out the team. Arteta's still learning as a coach. hopefully we sign Awar. It looks like we might sign Awar in January, bro. I'm seeing more and more reports from this particular Twitter page that guys should follow. It's called Indicala. They have 300 something thousand followers, and they seem legit. So hopefully they're right. If we sign Husam Awar, I think we're gonna be a different team, man.
Final question from Babu. Oh, he asks about Saliba.
No, like I just want to mention. I don't know if anybody doesn't know in this particular group, in this particular audience, that William Saliba. It's not necessarily, I think, his footballing ability. I think it's more to do with his mom. His mom passed on last year. Was it this year or last year? Very recently, and yeah, yeah, very recently, and I think it affected him really, really badly. And when you pile on that issue with different language, new faces, no family around him, it's hard. So I'm willing to give him as much time as he needs, because clearly we don't necessarily need him right now. We don't need him. We don't need to slow his progression any farther. So just chill.
Awesome. So those are your player ratings. I was joined by Zuhu. Where can they follow you?
As always, guys, on Twitter and on Instagram. I'd appreciate as well a follow on the Nearly Footballers podcast. It's also on Twitter and on IG. Glenn is a great supporter of that page as well, so I'd appreciate if more of you come from that page.
Awesome, man. I'm so
Glenn,
excited. Yeah.
Glenn, I'm having you on the Nearly Footballers podcast. Let's agree on our first game against the Spuds, okay?
No problem. No
You'll
problem.
join me
Tell
on
me.
my platform as well,
Yeah,
okay?
you'll tell me in the
All right, cool.
backstage. So I'm so happy to get this hoodoo off our back. This hoodoo of not beating any top 16. This hoodoo of not winning at Old Trafford. Now, the only way is forward. Now, thank you to the 114 people in the chat. Make sure you drop a like. Remember, keep dancing, keep being happy. United fans, put them in the mud. Let's enjoy this victory. Thank you for watching. Keep staying safe, and I'll catch up with you guys later.